Hello beautiful humans, my name is Taryn and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm really talking to the people out here who want to start reading but have literally no idea where to begin. So I actually started reading last January, so January of 2022. I wasn't really a big reader before that. I mean, I read a little bit in high school, but not a lot at all. But then last year came around and I was doing 75 hard, so I had to read books. Well, I was doing 75 medium. My boyfriend was doing 75 hard. I just didn't want to read self-development books like how 75 hard has you, so I read whatever I wanted, which was a lot of the books that I'm going to share with you today. So I figured, because I'm a new reader and because some of you are new readers, we can talk about all the books that I would recommend to new readers. I'm going to try my best to explain all of these books. I have read all of them, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be recommending them to you. Well, let's start. I do have like a mix of different books because, I don't know, I felt like that was best to give people who have literally no idea where to begin. So let's start. Where do we start? That's a good question. Let's start with our queen, Colleen Hoover. And, you know, she does get a lot of hate and I will never understand that because I love her and her writing. Her writing is the easiest to get into. Okay, so the first book I'm going to talk about is November 9th by Colleen Hoover. This is about Fallon. Yeah, Fallon and Ben. Look at me. I read this early last year. So this is going to be a fun explanation of this book. Fallon and Ben met at a diner. Fallon was having lunch with her dad and her dad don't get along very well, and Ben kind of saved the day and pretended that he was Fallon's boyfriend just randomly out of nowhere. And they then decide that every year on November 9th they are going to either meet at this diner or just like have a date, and then you just kind of follow their dates on that specific day every single year for, I don't remember how many years it is, but like they'll kind of go into their lives a little bit, and then it'll be November 9th and you go on the date, and then a little bit of their lives, and then November 9th, and like, oh gosh, it's just, I loved this book. And I know there's a lot of hate specifically for Ben, which I do get, but because of the plot twist, the plot twist was really came out of nowhere, y'all. It really came out of nowhere. And I really liked it. It made me sob. There is a specific line in this book that broke my heart. Broke my heart. But it's so good. It's such an easy read. It's a little over 300 pages, like 310 pages, but I loved it and I think you should read it. Let's do another romance here. This is the Bromance Book Club by Lyssa Kay Adams. This is actually a standalone series. This is the first in the series, but you don't need to continue reading, or you can read any of them in the series. This is about Gavin and his wife, Thea. The writing is in third person, but it doesn't even matter. This entire series, Lyssa Kay Adams, just the way that she writes is so easy to read. These books are absolutely hilarious. They are so funny. I do like the others in the series more, but I think that I had just read a lot of 5-star books before I read this one, so it kind of threw me off. But sorry, it's a marriage that is a little on the rocks, and Gavin is trying to win Thea back over. They have 2 kids. Their kids are freaking hilarious. It's so good. I think starting with this one is an easy way to get into the other ones. Oh, I guess I didn't even explain the whole Bromance Book Club part, but Gavin and his friends are in a book club and they read romance novels to help whatever they're going through. So the book that they read for Gavin is specifically about a second chance romance, which is pretty much this book. They're so funny. They are so funny. I find myself cackling this entire series. So highly recommend this for new readers. This is a new read for me. I just read this month, January 2023, and I highly freaking recommend This is The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. It is another like standalone series, but you don't really have to read them all. The banter in this book is immaculate. The side characters are fabulous. The storyline is great. I was laughing. I was crying because something in this book happens and it broke my heart. Oh gosh, I just love this one so much. It's a romance. It's a friends to lovers. Kristan and Josh, they work together for a little bit and they both have feelings for each other, but, and it says it on the back of the book, I'm not spoiling it, Kristan cannot have kids. Josh really wants to have kids, so you kind of see why Kristan is pushing Josh away the entire book. I love it. I will never stop raving about this until I probably read the second one, because people are saying that the second one in the series is even better, which is about characters that were in this book. I highly recommend this. It was so easy to read. I loved it. Abby Jimenez's writing is fabulous. She's now an auto-buy author for me, for sure. The last romance kind of that I'm going to talk about, I do have a dark romance too to say, but the last one that I'm going to talk about is Pack Up the Moon by Kristan Higgins. Okay, so this is for my girlies or boys that want their heart to be broken into a million pieces. This is about Josh and Lauren, kind of. Does it say this in the back? Okay, it does, because I didn't want to spoil anything. Lauren is diagnosed with a terminal illness and she is given so many days to live, and this book is about Josh and his grief. Josh is also on the spectrum, and it is just one of those books that tugs at your heartstrings. I think I sobbed from page 5 to the very end of the book. Everyone that I've recommended this to has loved it. It is such an easy read, but also a sad read. You read from both Josh's point of view and Lauren's point of view, because Lauren writes letters, and you also just get to see as her disease progresses. It's, oh gosh, it's such a good book. It was one of the easiest 5-star books that I gave in 2022. I loved it so much. I highly recommend it to absolutely everyone. Oh, please. This book. There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. I was screaming reading this book. Sophie, gives playlists and like tells you specifically what song to read at certain times in the book. It is so amazing. Mara and Cole. So Cole is an artist who makes art with people that he's killed. And him and another artist, Alistair Shaw, are both serial killers / artists and use those that they've killed to make their art. So yeah. And then Mara gets thrown into the mix, and in a weird, bad way. But then Cole and Mara start this relationship. Cole is literally obsessed with her, and God, it's so good. The reason that I'm highly recommending this for new readers is just because of how easy of a read it is. You can also find it on Kindle Unlimited. It's such an easy, I flew through this and I'm not joking, 6 hours, maybe even less. I could not stop reading it. I loved it so much. It is dark, so if you are going to read it, check trigger warnings. But gosh, I love this book so much. There was a specific part where I was literally jumping up and down because I thought it was so freaking, Mara is such a badass sometimes in these books. Yeah, another easy peasy lemon squeezy read. And now we're done with romance. Okay, let's do a quick little thriller that I recommend. This is Local Woman Missing. I remember this and being on the edge of my seat the entire time. It is about, I kind of want to just read the back. Can I just read the back to you? Because I don't think I'm going to be I'm gonna do good at explaining it, but I will tell you that I had literally no idea half of this was gonna happen. So let's read the back, okay? People don't just disappear without a trace. Shelby Tebow is the first to go missing. Then Meredith Dickey and her 6-year-old daughter Delilah vanish just blocks away from where Shelby was last seen, striking fear into their once peaceful community. After an elusive search that yields more questions than answers, the case eventually goes cold. Now, 11 years later, Delilah shockingly returns. Everyone wants to know what happened to her, but no one is prepared for what they'll find. And some people will stop at nothing to keep the truth buried. You get it from 4 different points of views. I think they might even throw some like other ones in there as well, but you get like Delilah's dad's point of view, you get the neighbor's point of view, you get Meredith, who was the one that went missing, her point of view from like back in the day. Yeah, you get Kate, which is neighbors. Oh my gosh, the twists, the turns, everything. This book took me away last year. I loved it so much, and I recommend. And then I have 2 fantasy-ish books, but they're easy to get through, I promise. Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. This is about Juliet, who has the ability to kill anyone she touches, and she is put into a prison pretty much because she kills everyone that she touches, until one day she is broken out of the prison and is used, or is then taught, I guess, that she is not just her power. I don't really know if that, I had an issue explaining this one in my last video too, but whatever. It was an easy read. Buddy read this in 2022, and I remember like screaming when I was reading it, like, oh my god, this just happened, I can't believe it, oh my god, what in the world. Like, I remember that. I loved it so much. The world building isn't hard. It's actually, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's like just in the normal world, but there's like superpowers. So it's a very easy read. I absolutely love the way that it's written. Short chapters just really keep me entertained, and I feel like it's perfect for new readers. There is 6 books in this series plus some novellas, which are short books, but I promise they're really good reads. I wish that when did that fall? Did that just fall? I wish I could give you a standalone fantasy book, but I just don't know any. I read one this year and it just wasn't my favorite. I don't know. It's just series are good, I swear. And this one is super easy to get into. This one I'm recommending. This is The Inheritance Games. It's not really fantasy, but it's a YA. This is about Avery, who is in high school. She doesn't have a lot of money. She lives with her sister. Her mom has passed already. Well, she lives with her half sister. And then one day she is flown across the US to Texas. I guess that's not across. I don't really know where she was before, but are they even in Texas? I don't know. All of a sudden she inherits this old man's fortune that she has literally no idea who he is. She inherits like $46 billion bajillion dollars and his entire estate, but she has to live in the estate for a year in order for her to get the money, and none of the family knows who she is. She doesn't know who any of the family is. She doesn't even know this old man or how she got his money, and it's kind of just her and the 4 Hawthorne brothers that are trying to figure out why she has this money, why she got the inheritance, and the twists, the turns, it's like Clue, but nobody died. Well, I guess he died, but they're not trying to like find who killed him because he just died because he was old. It's so good. It's so good. Again, with the easy read, I think I read it in 2 days. All of the books in the series are amazing. There's 3 books. They're all so good. I think I like the second one the most, which most people didn't like the second one, but I was a fan. I highly recommend this. I really do. It's like a mystery. That's the word, a mystery. I recommend. Those are my 8 recommendations for anyone who is just starting to read. I wish that I had like less series to give you, but I'm just such a fan of them. I hope if you're a new reader that you got something good out of these books. If you read any of them, I hope you love them. I hope I did an okay job explaining any of those. There's just so many books out, and you know, you can just never read them fast enough, it feels like. But these books here were just some of the books that completely like flipped a switch in my head and said, you know what, Taryn, reading is absolutely amazing. It can throw you into a new world. It is so much fun. I'm so sorry that my phone is going crazy. Yeah, these books are really the reason that my bio on everything is replaced Netflix with books, because that's what it did for me. Can you tell? I'm like smiling so much. I loved those books. I hope you love those books. I hope those are some good recommendations for you. And even if you're not a new reader, I do highly, highly, highly recommend those 8 books to anyone. They're such easy, fun reads. Well, okay, some of them will make you cry your eyes out, but they're great reads. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You know, all of the fun YouTube thingies. Oh my gosh, guys, we hit 450 subscribers. That's insane. That is insane. Also, I'm going to try and start posting 2 times a week. So I'm posting Wednesdays, it's just like my sit down video, and then Fridays are going to be like my weekly reading vlogs slash just like chat with me, because honestly I haven't edited it yet, but it's gonna be a little wild. It's gonna be a little crazy, and by that I mean I just don't know what I talked about at all. But anyway, okay, like, comment, subscribe. Have a fabulous Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whenever you're watching this, and goodbye, beautiful humans.